All right, let's jump right into a really fascinating mystery. This one is a classic whodunit, and the whole thing pivots on a single, super cryptic clue left by a dying man.
So, here's the big question we're tackling today. Can 4 words, just 4 little words that seem totally random, actually solve a million-dollar crime? I mean, it sounds impossible, right? Well, we're about to find out.
Okay, to get to the bottom of all this, we first have to meet our hero. And trust me, he is not your typical detective.
So at first glance, this just looks like a totally normal family dinner, right? But believe it or not, this dinner table is actually the secret headquarters for cracking the toughest cases in the town of Idaville. We've got the chief of police, his wife, and right there, their son Leroy.
You see, Leroy's brain is basically a supercomputer. It's so jam-packed with facts that everyone calls him Encyclopedia. His friends have this great way of describing him. They say he's like a library and a computer all rolled into one, but way easier to talk to. The kid just never forgets anything.
And get this, Encyclopedia is only in the 8th grade, but he's his dad's secret weapon against crime. So whenever the chief of police hits a total dead end, he just brings the case files home to dinner. Encyclopedia listens to all the facts, and, yep, he usually cracks the case before dessert is even on the table. It's all very top secret, of course.
So tonight is one of those nights. The chief has brought home a real doozy. A cold case that has suddenly, out of nowhere, become red hot again.
And the family? Well, they know the signs. When Chief Brown just stares into his soup instead of eating it, that's the signal. It means he's completely stumped. And this time, it's a case that's been gathering dust for 5 long years. He definitely needs his son's help with this one.
Okay, so let's take a look at the case file. Here's what we know. 5 years ago, the Diamond Mart was held up by 2 masked men. They made off with $1 million worth of jewelry. $1 million! And they just vanished. Got away clean. The trail went completely cold, and the case has been sitting unsolved ever since.
Now, the police always had their eye on 2 main suspects. First, there's Tim Nolan, who started a little palm tree nursery in town. Then you've got his friend, Daniel Davenport. These 2 met in prison. The really suspicious part, a week before the robbery, Davenport shows up to live with Nolan. And then, boof, he's gone right after the heist. It screams guilty, but the police could never find any solid proof.
That is, until now. Suddenly, that 5-year-old cold case is heating up big time. Here's why. Tim Nolan, one of our main suspects, died just yesterday from a stroke. But, and this is the crucial part, right before he died, he left behind one last clue.
And this, my friends, is where the real puzzle starts. We're talking about a riddle from a dying man.
So, as he was dying, Nolan grabs a sheet from a calendar and scribbles down 4 words. Nome Utes, Sweden hurts. Just look at that. What on earth does that mean? It looks like complete and utter nonsense, right?
And this clue had everyone stumped. I mean, Chief Brown, a veteran police officer, he had absolutely no idea. Mrs. Brown, who used to be a teacher, tried to break it down logically. Num might be short for nominative, Utes is a Native American tribe, but that whole line of thinking went absolutely nowhere. They were both totally stuck.
But while the adults are scratching their heads, our boy genius is quietly putting the pieces together.
So after thinking for just a minute, Encyclopedia asks this one really strange question. He asks, is there a young fir tree in Mr. Nolan's palm tree nursery? Now, stop and think about that for a second. A fir tree in a nursery that only sells palm trees? It's completely out of place. What could that possibly mean?
Chief Brown has to think about it for a second, but then he confirms it. Yes, he says, there is one single fir tree on the south side of the house. Just like that, Encyclopedia's bizarre question has led them to a very real, very important fact.
And that's all he needed to hear. With that one piece of information, Encyclopedia cracks the entire case. He looks at his parents and tells them those 4 weird words actually point to the exact hiding spot for the $1 million jewels. The secret, he says, is hidden under the 5th word.
Okay, so that's it. That's the final piece of the puzzle from our boy genius. He's given us the key, and now it's your turn. Can you solve it?
Let's lay it all out one more time. You've got the dying message, Nome Utes, Sweden hurts. You've got the one single fir tree that doesn't belong. You know the words were written on a calendar sheet, and you have Encyclopedia's master hint, The loot is hidden under a fifth word.
So here we are at the million-dollar question. Literally. The story leaves us hanging right here, and so will I. Take another look at all the clues. Put them all together in your head. What was the fifth word?